Let's have a look at this writing. This is the answer, but this answer is full of mistakes. It's going to score a CLB 6. We will transform it through a bunch of changes and see how we can get it from a CLB 6 to a CLB 10, which in CELPIP, in this case, for the final version, the answer that I'm going to show you, in this case, it's going to be a CELPIP score of 11 out of 12. And then I'll also tell you how we could make it 12 out of 12. So let's get started. This is task 1 sample question and then the sample answer from our student. The question says, you recently booked a stay at a vacation rental through an online platform, but found the accommodation to be unsatisfactory, and then you're 150 to 200 words. Now you have your 3 points, specify the dates of your stay and the website, detail the issues you encountered, ask the host for a partial refund. Simple, traditional, that's how questions usually are in CELPIP. This one is the answer from one of our students, and we gave the student some feedback. Now you can pause the video and check where the problem areas are, because you might make the same mistakes that the student makes. Now, in the actual exam, good news, you have a spell check. Bad news, you don't have a grammar check. So everything here you see in red, you will not see in the real exam. This is because it's on Word, so you can see it. And if we just go ahead and correct our grammar mistakes right away, it's going to look like this. These are all the grammar mistakes the student made, and I'm not going to look at all of them and explain them. You can look at them, they're pretty straightforward, but there are a few key grammar mistakes I'm going to point out. These red markings can easily destroy your marks. Now, I'll tell you the first one right here that could have been easily avoided, and this is where you don't need to take risks in the real exam. Look, this is what the student did. 4th space hyphen 6th, no space. So if you're confused how to use hyphen, don't use it. I mean, the correct way to do it is 4th space hyphen space 6th. That's the right punctuation. But if you don't know it, don't do it. Okay? So just do something simpler like 4th until the 6th. Problem solved. Don't take unnecessary risks. Now, when we go into our next 3 red markings for grammar, they are clarity issues. They make the sentence hard to read and understand, and that's where grammar makes you lose bigger marks compared to smaller mistakes. So here the sentence says, the bed was double-sized and the room was quite smaller. Quite smaller compared to what? Compared to the pictures you sent me right here. This is how the student should have continued. Was smaller compared to the pictures you sent me. But the student made a mistake here. Said which was disappointing. So it was quite smaller, which was disappointing. That is giving a break to your thought. Smaller should have been followed by considering the pictures you sent me. So this is a clarity issue. It's going to make you lose marks. Another clarity issue is right here in the misuse of the semicolon. So the sentence says, what's more, the absence of a balcony further disrupted the dinner date I had initially planned with my husband. I found the room to be quite underwhelming. Now this, to me, feels like another idea. I mean, yeah, it's linked to the negativity, but you have no connection here. Semicolon does not mean you can insert anything. You need a connection. This is why I found the room to be quite underwhelming. So this is a tone problem here, loss of marks again. And then the last one here, which is the major one, is once again not having any connection. So if we see the sentence, it said initially, additionally, I tried canceling the booking, semicolon, they threaten not to refund me. There should be some flow to the threatening, like you canceled and then there's threat. There's no link in between. You need, however, to my surprise, they threaten not to refund me. So you have to build flows. It has to look like it's flowing smoothly. Don't add random ideas one after the other without proper punctuation. Now that we have figured out the grammar issue, let's look at the next big issue, and this is your structure. This is the initial writing. This is the question. What bullet points does the question have? 3, which means you should have 3 body paragraphs, 1 for each bullet point. And what the student did here was in the first paragraph, the student mentioned the purpose as well as the dates, if you notice here. The dates were part of bullet point 1, specify the dates. That should have been a separate paragraph. And then the next bullet point is detail the issues you encountered. The student mentioned that in these two paragraphs, 1 and 2. So you have two body paragraphs for just one bullet point. That's a mistake. It should just be one paragraph for one bullet point. The third bullet, that one is actually okay. I kindly request a partial refund, and that is answering the third bullet point, asking a partial refund. Now that is okay, but the others need fixing, so we'll do this. What we have done in this attempt is kept the first paragraph separate. It is just the purpose. The next paragraph talks about the website where the thing was purchased, as well as the dates. And to elaborate this more, you can add ideas like the order number is ending at this. This will make a complete paragraph. Now you have one paragraph for this bullet. We then combined the two paragraphs for bullet point 2, because you should just have one paragraph per bullet. And bullet point number 3, we kept as is. So we restructured a bunch of things, but unfortunately, at this point, it has added a lot of words because we have added a paragraph, and this already was too much. You don't need those many words for one bullet point. So we're going to fix it. Instead of having that paragraph that we had, the long one, we're going to make it short. And this is our shortened version. Let's go over it. And once again, if you want to look at the paragraph that was initially done, it is right here. This one here, from given that to checked in. Now look how we have changed it. Although I was initially thrilled about my vacation and booked a king-size room with a balcony as advertised, I was dismayed to find a much smaller room with a double bed and no balcony, starkly contrasting the photos provided. Look how the hyphen is used here. You have hyphen and space before and after. And in between the hyphen, you have added an extra clause, an extra piece of information. Ultimately, ruining a special dinner plan with my husband and leaving me disappointed. So it is a long, complex sentence, this one, and we're doing that on purpose. 1, to gain marks for complex sentences, but 2, to kind of summarize all the information here in a much more effective way in a shortened version. Now, the next part, to exacerbate matters, the customer service was dismissive and discourteous, offering no resolution whatsoever. So that's our second point that the student was mentioning towards the end about the staff. But what the student also was mentioning here was they threatened not to refund me as I had already checked in. You don't need to say that. It's already too many problems you have mentioned. The refund thing will go in the next paragraph. So it's just overloading the examiner with information, and I did not include that part in my version. I did a simplified version, the summary of what was relevant to the question. And remember, the question was, I just got to discuss the details of the issues I encountered. Even 2 points were more than enough. We don't even need to do all of this. But if you want to find a way to summarize that, that's how we'll summarize this. So now the word count looks better. But we got to do one more thing. We also have to look at the next paragraph and fix it. Now this was the third body paragraph answering bullet point 3, which was about the partial refund. That was what the student said right here, as you can see. However, this is the version that I did, and what I'm doing here is adding more complex words, and advanced phrasing. So if you look at the student's version, once again, the student said right here, overall, I kindly request for a partial refund. It should be request a partial refund, which is the price difference between the double room and king size room with balcony I originally paid for. There's nothing here that blows me away. There's no fancy expression, no complex sentences. So the point of the paragraph is to give the examiner all of that, not just do a paragraph for the sake of doing the paragraph. So how do we change it? And this is something you can practice at home. You can also improve this in proofreading. So what we have done is this version. A partial refund reflecting the discrepancy. So everything you see here in bold are the advanced ones, the advanced versions I have added. Reflecting the discrepancy. Discrepancy is a good word, advanced word, and reflecting the discrepancy is an advanced phrase. Between the double room provided and the king-size bedroom with balcony originally reserved is respectfully requested. So respectfully adverb. Adverbs give you more marks. As compensation for the misrepresented accommodation. So you have an adjective here, misrepresented. And again, it's unique. It's not just you made a mistake. Use advanced words where you can. And that's how we have given the same points that the student provided in body 3, but made it sound so much better with good range and academic words and advanced words. Now, this was the version we had before, CLB 6, and this is the version we have now after all our revisions mainly done in the 3 body paragraphs here and a few in the intro and conclusion. The structure is separate now, intro, body 1 to 3, clearly answering the 3 bullet points, and then the conclusion. Salutations, by the way, for the student were perfect from the get-go. And now we have no mistakes at all. This answer will score an 11. Why not 12 though? Why not 12 out of 12? Now, most of you just need a CLB 10, which is CELPIP 10 or higher. So 10 even is enough. But how can we make it 12? I would go back and cut body 2. It still has a lot of words, and it shows the examiner that I am not organized. I can clearly see that I'm sacrificing some words here and some words here because I have so many in body 2. If I could make that better, revise it, it'll be 12 out of 12. Everything is advanced, nicely structured, task response is good, and that is how you do a CLB 10 level of writing. Guys, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk very soon.